this project already. I think you're all extremely excited. Now, before I present the slides to you and continue to present the project to you, I would like to show you the trailer to you. It's a 2-minute video clip because I want you to get an idea of what the digital twin is all about. If you'd like to watch the film, you can also download it from our website, but I brought it with me today. And now, enjoy.
Fällt auch Ihnen auf, dass in den Medien vermehrt von dem Begriff Metaverse die Rede ist? Was ist das? Und wie kann man sich Metaverse-Anwendungen im industriellen Alltag vorstellen? Auf dem Gelände des IndustrieStadtpark Troisdorf werden seit Februar 2021 industrielle Anwendungen von 5G-Campusnetzen untersucht. Es werden dabei 2 Use Cases erprobt. Ein 5G-basiertes Informations- und Leitsystem für Gabelstapler. Damit werden Routen berechnet, Aufträge abgewickelt und der Fahrzeugzustand überwacht. Und ein 5G-Werkzeugkoffer für Arbeiten mittels Mixed Reality, der beispielsweise aus der Ferne Arbeiten an Produktionsanlagen oder Serviceeinsätze bei Kunden ermöglicht.
Sehr gut.
Das Projekt setzt sich aus insgesamt 7 Projektpartnern zusammen. Darunter die Anwendungspartner Curare Europe und ZWI Technologies. Von wissenschaftlicher Seite wird das Projekt vom Institut Leistung Arbeit Gesundheit (ILAG), von der RWTH Aachen sowie vom Fraunhofer FIT begleitet. Als kommunale Partner sind die Troline und die Troisdorfer Wirtschaftsförderung Trovista beteiligt. Unsere Forschungsergebnisse werden regelmäßig der Öffentlichkeit auf Messen, in Fachzeitschriften und den lokalen Medien präsentiert. Mehr Informationen zum Projekt finden Sie auf unserer Website www.5gtroisdorf.de.
Now let's zoom in on the project. We said that it's a project which received national funding. We started off in 2021. What happened before? Beforehand, in 2020, we developed the concept with us as the developers coming from Troisdorf together with Fraunhofer Institute. We tried to find local companies that qualified for this 5G use case. We didn't really know what the plan was, but we wanted to use an industrial site which is as strong as Troisdorf to try out and test the 5G technology. What was the extra benefit of rolling out 5G nets in the region? After many discussions with company reps, we have had a very interesting discussion with ZVI and QUI. Why are they interested? Because these companies do cooperate already with each other and they're closely interconnected. The project will last 36 months, which will be 6 months. It would have ended in the course of this year, but we received a cost-neutral prolongation for 6 months. It was extended. Why? Because the project works rather smoothly, and this is what the Ministry of Transport and Digital Infrastructure has seen that as well. And due to delivery shortages, supply shortages and the crises, we receive additional funding. We received 3.57 million in total, which is quite a lot of money, but that's what we need because the entire equipment and the hardware is particularly expensive. We also have to pay for the employees, which are also included, but we also wanted to set up the network and the hardware, such as these goggles. The forklift trucks had to be retrofitted, and that was quite costly. The whole thing gets supported from the BMDV and the Federal Ministry of Transport and the Digital Infrastructure, and the promoter is the VDI, IT. It's a joint project. I'll zoom in on the companies that are partners of us in a minute. On these pictures, you see what was mentioned before already. We meet on site, although we could have digital meetings as well, but people come to travel to the region as well because our project depends on the fact that we cooperate very closely with each other. So we're in regular contact, in personal contact. We organize workshops, but things have to be discussed immediately in order to bring the project further. We also have digital meetings, or depending on the request, not every employee can be on site on a regular basis. We, as the Troisdorfer Wirtschaftsförderung, are close to the companies in the region. I also mediate the topic of innovation and digitalization and promotion, and this is why I'm a member of the project. We try to find the different companies that qualify, and now we are responsible for PR. We go to trade fairs, we convey the message to the general public, to the experts, and also to other companies as a role model, so to speak. We've got the ILEC, which was already mentioned before by Mr. Bau, who told us a little bit more about it from the work researcher's perspective. Troyline, is a very particular partner because it's responsible for establishing the 5G network based on optical fiber. So we've got a municipal city company which rolls out the network. The RWTH Aachen is zooming in on the business models because at the end of the day, we want this project to be implementable after the region project Kurarei and the ZWI. ZWI builds the machines for Kurarei. They're both sitting in the same region. So remote maintenance would not be necessary in this particular context, but ZWI also ships its machines to other parts of the globe. And Kurarei, different to an SME, which is family-owned, is a big Japanese company with a headquarter in Troisdorf. Fraunhofer takes over the role of the project coordinator. It wants to reduce red tape. We, as a project partner, have very little to do with that because Fraunhofer took over the entire coordination and administration and is also responsible for the implementation. So the app that we have developed for the AI developments was developed out of our own strength, and we didn't purchase it anywhere. These, once again, are our partners on this particular list. You will find all the names. But here I did not want to introduce the partners to you, but tell you what their main overarching goals are. Fraunhofer tries to find out how 5G can be used at the interface between man and machine. We, as Trovista, as I already mentioned, try to promote the project and make it popular and increase awareness about it in order to make our business location in Troisdorf even more attractive. Troyline builds up the G5 campus network. On the basis of that, it wants to build up further networks if this turns out to be successful. ELAC is responsible for the evaluation against the backdrop of the work system, and Cura Europe and the WI want to look at all the different application scenarios with the support of the RWTH Aachen, which helps to develop business models. The specificity about the site of Troisdorf is the IndustrieStadtpark. It's a big industrial park, as the name already indicates, with approximately 50 companies on campus. In Troisdorf, we have a very strong cluster on manufacturing industries, especially in the field of plastics. So we also have a lot of hidden champions, just like Hurarei, producing foils that are delivered to all the regions of the world. In addition to that, the industrial park is in a very favorable location between Cologne and Bonn, just for you to know where Troisdorf is located. This, once again, is an overview. This is the entire industrial park down below. We've got the central station, and this is the city admin where we are located. So we are also close to the companies. We are also close to St. Augustin, where Fraunhofer has its headquarters. What are the use cases? As presented to you in the video, we've got two of them. One of which is the guidance system for forklift trucks. We didn't speak about a lot about this in the 5G toolkit with mixed reality. Why a toolbox? Because, as we said before, we want to send it out as a box physically instead of sending out our technicians. And if a company which does not have the resources available can use the toolbox if the hardware is not available. Now let's zoom in on the use cases in greater detail. These forklifts are supposed to be equipped with microcomputers and with 5G interfaces, so location control and deployment planning can be planned in real time. This is why 5G is needed. We also have camera systems that have already been assembled and fixed in order to look at efficiency and data acquisition, as well as sensors for early maintenance and accident prevention. We can also come up with precise maintenance intervals. The key objectives are that we want to integrate our 5G technology for data-intensive applications in real time. We also want to improve and minimize empty runs and optimize the capacity utilization, which is also in the interest of our workforce. We want to collect data and process data. We collect data in line with conformity rules and inform our employees about it. It's not appropriate to say that somebody drove over a bumper. Why was the damage caused? But we simply want to come up with very precise information on the damage that was done and how it can be rectified, instead of trying to find the person who's to blame for that. And we want to improve safety and ease for our employees. We communicate this very clearly and speak to them during our town hall meetings that were mentioned before. The second use case is particularly exciting because metaverse and industrial metaverse, due to the announcement of Facebook, has assumed greater significance in the media, and many people connect metaverse with Facebook, which is not really true, but we've got this hybrid digital room within which we move about and will continue to move about in the future. So these service packages will be offered, the tool called consisting of hardware and software. This will be made available. At the current moment in time, we offer HR goggles combined with VR goggles. The HR goggles are HoloLens products produced by Microsoft. The VR goggles are Oculus products. And you can move out of the virtual room into the hybrid room, and you can interact together. Here, 5G is particularly important because the bandwidth is quite demanding, and latency requirements are also quite sophisticated, especially for remote maintenance. We use remote rendering, which means that CRD data of the digital twin are not rendered on the goggles. That is not possible, but they're rather stored on a server. And in real time, for communication purposes, this information needs to be processed. Here, too, we need the support of an expert sitting somewhere supporting somebody else via remote control, not necessarily with the help of the goggles, but with the help of variables, as we call them. The whole system can be extended. So at the current moment in time, we have a digital screwdriver in our portfolio indicating in the AR or VR use case how tight the screw was adjusted, which particular part was worked on in which particular way. Everything is documented, and the data is not only available for remote maintenance, but also for predictive maintenance. Thus, you can save a lot of resources, as we mentioned before, such as travel expenses, which can be done away with. And also, the workload on the part of our employees can be reduced. You can use the system for onboarding. This is what we discussed as well, but it depends on whether you want to use it for complex use cases or whether you want to use it just like a tutorial, similar to YouTube tutorials, which makes it easier for people to understand what this is all about instead of having to read through the manual and standing in front of this highly complicated machine without knowing which screw the one is that you're actually talking about. Our main objective, apart from the legitimacy for 5G in general, which is the overarching goal of our project, is that we want to ensure that we want to have a human-centric approach. We spoke about the fact that digitization replaces human beings. People don't meet anymore. Do we really need that, yes or no? I'm of the opinion that yes, we do need these systems, most certainly so. This was also clear during the previous Q&A session. But digitization is supposed to be considered to be a tool and an aid. Also, in this case, it doesn't replace any kind of communication, and not everything should be digitized. But certain processes or processes that can be simplified should be digitized, also in the interest of the workforce, because happy employees lead to the success of a company, to a lower level of fluctuation and a much better feeling at work for everyone. This is why we came up with this scientific and participatory approach together with ELAC. We have regular workshops, not only with employees, but also with managers, because they need to make all these implementations possible. We carry out mental stress and physical stress analyses, and we implement the feedback of the employees. This is an iterative process. We repeat this time and again, and in the near future, we will have an evaluation which is due. We have carried it out in previous years before, partly with experienced, partly unexperienced employees that we interviewed before, in order to find out what their age group specific opinions are. What's your take on that? Do you think this is the right way to go about it? Others thought that it was a bit like a game, and others thought that this was a feasible way into the future. In order to give you some information about the feedback, those people who work on these machines day in, day out, sometimes know better than researchers from top to bottom what is really needed. And they might tell you, well, I cleaned the machine, but I didn't really know why this particular switch wasn't activated, because they thought that this was going to track them during their work. But it was an onboarding process that they had to switch on or switch off according to the liking, which was simply going to be of help. And the second step, we said we have inserted this particular device, but you can also put up the goggles for if they are bothering you when you're working at the machine. We want to see you in your real life working situation. So something was done which was very much in line with their daily professional operations while wearing these goggles. A short overview on the progress we've made so far. Of course, we don't provide you with all the details and list all the workshops that were held, but by and large, it is very important to me that we present this to people coming to the day trade fairs, but we will also want to have a digital day at the national level. We publish this information in the local media, and people are aware of us, and I'm really grateful that I was given the opportunity to present our project to you today. And I think this year and next year, at least for 6 months, we will continue to travel and inform as many people as possible about the project. We are very happy about persons who are interested in, who want to get involved in an exchange, and maybe there will be closer cooperation with us or the companies, and thus we help to bring digitization further by joining forces. What are the challenges ahead of us in the course of the project? Due to the different crises and due to the in crisis, we are having difficulties with increased prices for hardware. A Raspberry Pi used to cost 49 euros. Now it's up to 290 euros. Same holds true for many other products. And there's a scarcity of electronic components. You probably all know the story about the fact where washing machines had to be purchased by companies because they needed a one chip from it, and there are long waiting times, long delivery times. Cooperation with suppliers is often very time intensive and doesn't always work as smoothly as our internal cooperation, where we are in exchange with each other on a regular basis. Now, 5G is quite an important topic because we evaluate it very strongly. Well, what kind of 5G parts are needed? A lot of promises were made that could not be kept, such as localization, because we want standalone solutions. We don't want to be in connection with Bluetooth or GPS, and we have not yet managed to come up with a universal solution. All the different use cases and fields of application differ. Of course, you don't have to try to make a quantum leap forward, but we want our use cases to be used completely and extensively. Licenses and other issues are quite a problem, and it's a jungle to find the right service provider. It is also a very time-consuming endeavor. No, I don't have a clue for how long I spoke. We are perfectly on time? Well, wonderful. Great. Thank you so much.